Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to our channel. Today we'll be talking about tips on answering JAM questions. These tips are what we need in order to get a full idea of how to answer JAM questions because JAM is all about the technicality and all about your ability to work in stress. So today we're going to be giving us some tips in in today we're going to be giving us some tips in answering JAM questions. What are the tips needed to answer questions in JAM? JAM is not like your WAEC or like your NECO. At the highest level in the secondary school education, JAM is recommended, and this is also a transition process for you between your senior secondary school and the university. So JAM is in the middle to actually evaluate you on the different concepts and areas of subjects. And as it concerns us today, we're going to be giving you tips on answering JAM questions when it comes to the English language or the use of English language according to our JAM will have it. Number one, we have the elimination method in answering JAM questions. What is elimination method? Elimination method just simply refers to your ability to remove some options. For every option in JAM, for every question in JAM, we have four options, which is option A, option B, option C, and option D. And regardless of how the question is coming, you get four options. Gone are those days where you have five options. You have four options. And for every four options, the first tip you need to learn is elimination method. Get out two for every question you're seeing. Get out two options that you know are not the answer. For every question placed in front of you, you already know that this is not the answer and it cannot be the answer because it has nothing to do with this. We're giving, for example, what we're having on the board present. Now let's pick 2020's question number 60 with the instruction, look for the nearly opposite in meaning. I am quite talkative, but my brother is dash. Option A, we have dumb. Option B, we have indolent. Option C, we have taciturn. And option D, we have modest. You can be able to infer that when you're looking at the opposite in meaning of that word, outspoken, you're looking for something that is not outspoken, probably timid, or something that is quite reserved. Dumb is different. So dumb is out under elimination method. Modest. Modest is a situation whereby you are just cool and calm, but we can still leave modest as the technically correct one, while we pick indolent, which means probably rude or not having a better character because it has nothing to do with how you are outspoken. So you can be able to infer that option A and option B is out, while we have option C, which is taciturn and modest. If you're looking at this, you pick modest as the technically correct answer and you pick taciturn as the right answer, which actually mean for you to be able to not talk too much, having the ability to be very reserved. That is what we refer to as the elimination method. In order for you to get it better and what we've said earlier, you should be able to look at the substitution method, which is your ability to replace outspoken with taciturn or replace outspoken with modest. I am quite a talkative, but my brother is a taciturn. Is it making sense? Yes, it is. That is the two tips we are having first, which is the elimination method and the substitution method. Thirdly, in our tips, it's very important for you to read instructions. Very, very important. Most times, students are always in a rush. Students are always tense to read instruction. And this is actually one of the problems that they are having. If you read instructions carefully, you should be able to get more of your marks. Fourthly, we'll be looking at your ability to interpret your questions to the right language you understand. I always encourage my students and I tell them, Jamb is very technical, and you too have to be technically inclined to get the right or desired marks in Jamb. When you're referring to interpreting a question to the best language, yes, interpret it to the best language you understand. That is, if it's Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Pidgin, which is probably our second lingua franca, it's easier for you to understand the question and understand the option. For example, now let's pick 2019's question 31, which says, I don't think any person will have acted in such a dash manner. We have rational, compose, secret, and cruel. When you're interpreting to the best knowledge you understand, how the best language you understand, which is pidgin, for example, how are you going to interpret it? The better you interpret it, or the faster you are interpreting it, the easier it is for you to get the answer. For example, let's try this out. I not think say anybody feel reason that matter this way. Or for some people, I don't think say anybody suppose their art for this kind of nonsense way. When you are actually interpreting to the best language, you get a full scope of the question. And when you get the full scope of the question, you should be able to answer better. Option A, which is rational. Rational simply refers to making sense. It's good. It's good. So that is not the option. Elimination, we have removed it. Number two, composed. Composed and rational can be synonymous in some contexts. So we can say composed is out of it. Elimination. Let's speak it again. I don't think anyone will act, I don't think any person would have acted in such a dash manner. I don't think say anybody may get sense. Suppose they act this way. So, and you have removed rational, compose. What is left? You have option C and option D. Now, when you do the substitution method, you get the best answer, which is I never think that anyone or any person would have acted in such a cruel manner. Because you are able to interpret with best language, you are able to infer the meaning or the deeper meaning of that language. Do you understand? Yes, it's making sense. Now let's look at other tips. Tips number 5 simply refers to the situation whereby you understand the tense of the sentence. Understanding the tense of a sentence can actually help you greatly in getting the right answer. Understand, is this a present tense? If it's in a present tense, what kind of present tense? Is it a simple present tense, a present perfect tense, a present continuous tense, a present perfect continuous tense? Or is it a past tense? Is it a simple past tense? Is it a past perfect tense? Is it a past continuous tense or a past perfect continuous tense? When you are able to identify the tense of a sentence, it's easier for you to understand and pick the right option. Tip number 6. This is when we use appropriateness. Appropriateness comes into play when you understand the appropriate word to use depending on the context. For example, you can never go inside a plane. You can only board a plane. You cannot come down from a bus. You can only alight from a bus. But you can come down from a bicycle. You cannot board a bicycle. Appropriateness. When you understand appropriateness, this will also help you in choosing the right option. I hope with these little tips that we have given, you have been able to have a clearer vision on how to answer JAM question. Please do well to follow our YouTube channel, and you can also follow us on Instagram at Crystal Edu for your daily quotes. I will see you next time with more educative and impactful sections like this. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful